We climbed dirt roads, we took a wrong turn, and we ended up camping above 11,000 feet beside a lake so still it looked fake. The next day, we found Alta, a ghost town where Tesla and Westinghouse flipped the switch on the future. Right from the start, this road was no joke. It was a narrow dirt track carved into the mountainside, with a steep drop-off waiting for us. Then came a wrong turn. We thought we were headed the right way, but no. A tree fell across the road, blocking the trail completely.
You're good.
That's when Grace jumped in to help me back the Rover out. Mother-daughter teamwork in action.
Okay, now turn to the right. Yeah, just like that. Straighten out. And come straight on back.
In no time, we were back on the right track. And then, the road opened up to Gold King Basin, and we rolled into camp at over 11,000 feet. The perfect start to our Colorado adventure. We have found our camp spot for the night, and Grace is already looking at the rocks. We've got up above us several gold mines, old gold mines. Well, we assume they're gold mines since this is called Gold Basin. And we are gonna sit back, relax. This is what I've been missing all summer in my van, is coming out to a remote area and being able to camp. Camp felt like paradise. We set up here beside this alpine lake, so calm it mirrored the sky, and settled in to watch the clouds and the sun move across the sky and basin. Grace is ever the geologist, so she immediately found some breccia.
So I just climbed up the hill and I found some rocks. This is breccia. And how I know that is it's got these little chunks here. These little chunks are their own individual rock, even though they kind of look a little bit like lichen, but they're their own individual little rocks. And then when the San Juan volcanoes exploded, they picked up all these little individual rocks and squished them all together with this black stuff, the matrix, and created the rock breccia.
As the light faded, deer wandered through the basin, grazing in the stillness. With Stage 2 fire restrictions across Colorado, there were no campfires on this trip, just the glow of the mountains and the sound of the silence. This is living. The next morning, we take off for the ghost town of Alta. It is just a few miles away. And that's where we are headed next. Okay, so I'm really excited. We're back together again. Grace came home for a short time and then from her summer job, and she doesn't have a winter job yet. So we are doing some traveling here in Colorado. Since her axles broke and the other ones are imminent after, how old's your car?
19 years old.
19 years old. We feel like the other two need to be replaced now because those two failed while she was here. So we are back some time together doing the trails that she couldn't do because we were nervous about those axles in her LR3. Here we are at the town of Alta. We're here to explore the town. And this town is most famous for,
It is the first use of commercial electric power in the United States.
at first glance, Alta looks like just another ghost town tucked high in Colorado's San Juan Mountains. But in its day, this little cluster of cabins and mills was at the cutting edge of technology. Mining began here in the late 1870s, pulling gold, silver, copper, and lead out of the mountains. Life was tough. Winters at nearly 12,000 feet made Alta a seasonal community.
So these three buildings here look like homes, and I'm betting they were the mine bosses and the higher ups at the mine, because they're rather nice. That's number one, and they're at the top of the hill. This one here, right in front of me, looks to be the nicest of them all.
In fact, this area of town was dubbed Snob Hill by the locals because it was where the bankers and the mine bosses lived.
And the rest of the town is down the hill. And the mine.
But Alta's real claim to fame came in 1891 when the Gold King Mill became the very first place in the United States powered by alternating current, or AC, electricity.
Note is that Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse actually were here on site helping with the installation of the first AC alternating current to be used. So that is super cool.
Engineers like Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse helped prove that AC current could travel long distances and run heavy machinery. What started here in the San Juans soon powered cities around the world. Alta thrived for decades, but in the 1920s the ore was running out, and in 1948 a fire destroyed the mill. The town was abandoned almost overnight, leaving behind cabins, outhouses, and ruins scattered across the alpine meadow. Today, Alta is quiet again. Standing here, it's hard to imagine the noise of stamp mills and the spark of electricity that once lit this remote corner of the Rockies. But the ruins tell a story, a place where wilderness and innovation collided and history changed forever.
So that peak over there, the kind of one singular guy that's not really a peak, that's Lizard Head.
Oh, okay.
The mountain that's kind of right in front of us, that peak is Sunshine Mountain. And the really tall one is Mount Wilson. That is one of Colorado's 14ers. That's my geography lesson.
Okay. And we're at 11,000 feet, and I can feel it.
We're at 10,600 feet.
I can feel it.
Yeah. That's why the 14er doesn't look that tall, because we're at 10,000 feet.
Right.
From the peace of Gold King Basin to Alta's world-changing history, this trip already means so much. But next week we revisit a place that is deeply personal for us. The Black Canyon of the Gunnison, after the fire. We hope you will join us. See you next week. Bye!
Our drone landing pad. You know, when we go camping, we always say everything needs to have two purposes. There we go.